To debate this now, I'm joined by ex-Tory Minister Edwina Currie and our very own superstar panellist, Belinda de Lucy. Edwina, you take big issue with me on this, don't you? So go on, why am I wrong?
Well, you're wrong, because whatever Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng say that they were trying to do a year ago, the fact is they were doing almost exactly the opposite, because instead of going for growth, they were cutting taxes and increasing public spending. Do you remember, for example, that they were going to allocate a lot more money to support people for their bills and cap all their energy bills during the winter? That was only costed for 6 months. And that was at £60 billion. The total amount that they were going to give away in that particular budget was upwards of £160 billion. You know, it's absolutely insane. That's why I call her a clown, because she really doesn't understand what she was doing.
Oh, come on, Edwina. Edwina, she's anything but a clown. Do you not agree, Edwina? Do you not agree that while she did make some mistakes, which she admitted that today, she admitted that when I was with her in Leave for our big special programme, she's admitted making mistakes and going too fast. But would you not agree that the forces against her, Edwina, became overpowering?
Well, she created most of them by her stupidity. My goodness.
She's not stupid, Edwina.
Hang on, Dan, you asked me, and I'm happy to respond.
But she's not stupid. You can call Liz Truss a lot of things. She's not stupid.
Then she just doesn't understand what she was trying to do. I mean, many, many years ago, she was advocating for the abolition of the monarchy, and that was pretty stupid too.
Oh, she was a teenager. That's why I don't want 16-year-olds to get the vote, Edwina, because, you know, they have some silly opinions as teenagers. I'm sure we can agree on that. Belinda, what do you want to respond to there?
So Liz Truss called herself the great disruptor. She wanted to challenge the institutional groupthink of our big institutions like the Treasury, Bank of England, OBR. And I think that was right. It needed, they all need shaken up a bit. They're hiding in the shadows, terrified of their own reflection, not wanting to take any risk and equating any kind of tax cuts with loss of revenue and running for the hills. When quite frankly, Liz Truss's policy on freezing corporation tax was the right one. Cambridge-based company AstraZeneca, who were about to build a plant in the northwest of England, changed their minds to build it in Ireland, where corporation tax was only 15%, because Hunt and Rishi reversed Liz Truss's freezing of the corporation tax. We lost.
Well, Belinda, I actually wish they'd gone further. It emerged in a book over the weekend by the Daily Telegraph's political editor that Jacob Rees-Mogg of this parish had actually put together a proposal for Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng to go to a 20p flat tax. Now, that would have been exciting. And Edwina, look, you know I love you. But I put it to you, Edwina, you're actually betraying your Conservative principles by supporting high-tax Hunt and Rishi Sunak, who have put our tax burden at the biggest level since the Second World War. How can you say you're a Conservative while supporting that sort of regime?
Listen, I worked for Margaret Thatcher quite a long time ago, and she would probably say, one of the important things is you've actually got to balance the books. If you're going to spend more, then you're going to have to tax more. That's why we're at. I mean, we have an enormous public sector. It is bigger than it has been for many, many decades. And actually cutting the public sector would have been a very, very good start. Talking about how to do that, it's not easy. I'm sure, actually, we all probably agree that one of the key things that we're going to have to do is persuade everybody, starting with the British public, but going on to every politician from all the political parties and the Bank of England and everyone else, that we've got to stop being quite so dependent on the state. But that's not what Liz Truss did.
Well, it would have come.
Increasing the spending of the state.
It would have come if she had been given more than 49 days before being forced out in an anti-democratic coup by globalist forces who wanted their man in the job, Edwina. Their man, Sunak. Their man, Hunt.
No, I really don't believe that. I'm absolutely certain that they took a look at the budget and went, oh, my God, not least because if you borrow an enormous extra amount on top of all the extra that we had spent for COVID and for the war in Ukraine and so on.
Well, that's where the issue is. That's where the issue is. But who was responsible for that? Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak. Edwina Currie, but you know I love having a spirited debate with you, former Tory minister, and our very own Belinda de Lucy, who's back after 10. Thank you both so much. But who would you prefer running Britain's economy, Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak? Phil on Twitter says it has to be Truss. It's obvious she was ousted by the globalists and Ramonas. I feel sorry for her. I could have almost written that email, Phil. Promise you I didn't. Carol on Twitter writes, definitely Rishi. Truss was a liability and a Maggie Thatcher wannabe. We are well shot of her and her economic policies. And Diane writes, Truss was ousted before she had a chance to get going. We would be in a totally better position right now if they'd have let her get on with the job. At least Liz knew what she was doing. And your verdict is now, and oh my goodness, the globalists are going to be horrified. 77% of you would prefer Liz Truss to be running Britain's economy. Yes, what a result. Just 23% of you preferring the Sunak high tax hunt globalist regime. There you go.